Hi everyone, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the channel and happy almost spring. This is your spring equinox and full moon in Libra forecast for the collective, for twin flames and those on the ascension journey. If you're just finding the channel, thank you so much for joining. Please hit subscribe if you like what I have to say. I do weekly energy updates for collective twin flames for those who are awakening, and also do detailed extended forecasts for the moon phases. And yeah, so wanted to tell you guys they just launched a little special for this week because I'm so excited about spring. Like, this is spring and fall are my favorite seasons, and I try to always celebrate when there's something fun going on. So to celebrate, I've made a special reading. It's a 45-minute reading. It's a spring equinox reading, and this is going on from today, which is the 13th of March, all the way through the 21st of March. So it'll take us right through the spring equinox. And you can book that online. It's a special rate. It's a special session. We're going to be looking into the next 4 months for you. What's up ahead? How do you anchor in your 5D timelines? And how can we help you clear any blocks or challenges that are going to be in your path? Okay, or that you're holding within you that you can clear now to anchor in your dreams into reality. As I've been saying, June is going to be a whole new landscape that begins like the whole new landscape for everyone. So a lot of important things are going to be happening that are in your power to take charge of, to take initiative with, to, clean up the vibration so that you can actually really just revel in that just amazing feeling when things start to pop for you and manifestations start to happen. Okay. Another reminder for my services is that on March 27th, it's a Wednesday, I'm holding a Mother Mary Ascended Master Workshop. So we're going to be looking at Mother Mary from the perspective of who is Mary the Ascendant, and how can we work with her energy and honor her. And then we'll be doing a group meditation. It's an extended workshop. It's 2.5 hours, this workshop. You'll receive a recording. You'll be in with a great group who's already interested in working with her, or already has been. I mean, I think most people that are attracting into this workshop already have some desire to work with her more or better or in a new way. Extremely excited to be holding this. She's been asking me to drive her message in a new way. So I hope that you can join us. You can sign up on the website, spiritualmaterialgirl.com. I look forward to working with you. All right. So you guys, I have major messages. This is big. This is a full moon and a spring equinox. And let's see. And it's Ostara, which is a pagan holiday that honors this coming out of the stagnant winter and this new life and this reemergence, right? And I've been talking about where we're getting ready to emerge or reemerge, and that's starting to happen this month with some serendipitous sort of meetings and chance things, and we're going to be seeing that through April and May as a common theme. Now, I pulled an oracle spread today, so we're not actually going to be looking at tarot cards. We're going to be looking at oracle, and I pulled it a little bit differently. So we have 2 feminine cards and 2 masculine, and then we've got the normal spread for the combined energy. And then I have pulled advice cards from the Ascended Masters deck, the Archangels deck, and the Angel Therapy deck for both feminine and masculine. So those are sort of clarifiers. They are advice cards. They're giving us further messages on these energies. So what's coming up for the feminine, without further ado, and then while I'm giving you these messages, I'll also work in sort of the overarching themes that I wrote about in my newsletter. If you guys don't receive my newsletters, by the way, and you want them, which are those extended forecasts, you can sign up on my website. Just go to spiritualmaterialgirl.com, scroll to the bottom, enter your email address, and you'll start receiving them. I always repost them also on our Facebook and post a reminder on Instagram. So follow on Instagram and Facebook as well if you want to see those, or if you don't get a chance to get the emails this time around. You might miss it if you sign up late or you see this video late. So The email will have already gone out, so check Facebook and that should be posted, okay? All right, so I will work in those overarching themes that I've already written about. We'll talk about specific messages coming up now. So for the feminine, we have, this is from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. This is round and round. And this is usually the stories, or these are cycles, these are patterns, but I feel like this is a story that we've been telling ourselves, because what's coming up crowning over this, and this is 25, this card, for those of you who do want to know and you're interested with the Oracle cards, is thinker. So to me, this is just saying, like, this is a story that we're telling ourselves. This is when we're too in our logical mind and we are having that loop thinking, that negative thinking. We're not allowing our intuition to rule our power. We're being actually, you know, going into more of our masculine energy when we don't need to, because our power is rooted in our inner knowing, our deep inner wisdom, and in sort of this core center that's in at our navel, and our nucleus, our center, which is our solar plexus. So they're saying you've got to shift that, because all this stuff is happening up here. And so some of you are having headaches, okay, because it's too much of the loop thinking. And we've seen these cards before, and this is a common thing that the feminine wrestles with, right? Like, how can I stay more in my divine knowing energy and stay rooted in my solar plexus and listening, and not just listening, but trusting my gut. So at this time, I feel like there's a specific story that she's telling, and it's about the things that she's displeased with, they're saying. And so when you have this feeling of displeasure, it's easy to want to say it's because of an external condition, or it's because of, you know, it's because the universe hasn't delivered it. It's because the energy is stagnant. It's because that person was wrong. It's because, and they're saying that, like, you know, it's really important at this time, especially during this Libra full moon energy, in order to find our balance and balance those masculine, feminine energies from within. We must look in the relationship mirror and understand that anything that is currently in our life, even if we're ready to phase it out or make changes and make these shifts because we're starting to line up with ourselves in a new way, anything that's currently still lingering or still around, that is there because, you know why? Because at some point you were a match for it vibrationally, okay? So with that said, you can't place the blame on the external condition when you have created the external condition. So first, we must take responsibility for that. Not that you're a bad person, not that, because we all do it. We create conditions that aren't our ideals, that are not the things that we truly want. They could be manifestations of our fears, or they are a match for the unhealed pieces within us. So I think what's happening is you're looking at the things that you're still not happy with, the aspects or the conditions or the situations, or, you know, the lack of, or whatever that is, and feeling displeasure, but not understanding how easy it is for you to make a shift, because the shift lies within you looking all the way at why this is in front of you in the first place, what it is reflecting for you. And then secondly, aligning with the you that's not in the place of fear, that it's not a match for the wounded piece of you or the programmed piece of you, and leading with the love-based you, the one that's trusting and the intuitive knowing. And that's going to set you up to welcome in new experiences, better experiences, new people. So again, they're saying the word displeasure for the feminine. And a lot of this is they're saying you have the ability to change your situation at any given time. It's not about waiting for like some condition to change. It's about the internal condition changing within you. So with that said, I've been seeing a lot of posts, a lot of things about people posting about shadow, about, you know, a lot of things on social media about shadow. I've been working with my clients a lot. I mean, if you guys know about my soul coaching sessions, this is a lot of the work that we do, is that we work at the root issues to help you integrate your shadow, to process the pain. And there's so many different layers of that are in there. And usually that is what causes us to have negative loop thinking, right? Is that's rooted in fear. It can only be rooted in fear. These round and round stories that we tell ourselves, those tapes, are rooted in fear. So they're saying, ask yourself, if you're telling a round and round story about something that you don't like in your life, or something that's not going well, or something that, you know, you want to change, ask yourself, what is the root of the fear that's behind that? And or how have I attracted that into my life? And now I can look at it differently so that I can shift the energy vibrationally and welcome in a new circumstance, a changed and uplifted timeline, and new and better relationships. And it's really interesting because the advice cards for the feminine are trust, which is Vishnu, and in reverse, shield your energy, okay? So shield yourself. And I think that this is interesting because I think what they're saying is you're too in your false masculine energy, protecting yourself from an illusion. When they're saying all you need to do is look in the mirror, because anything that you're trying to shield yourself from externally is a reflection of you. So you're trying to shield yourself from you, and you're missing the whole piece of where you can actually delve into yourself to heal and come into alignment with a state of trust. Does that make sense? Let me say it again, because I don't know, that may have been confusing. So it's like this. It's like you're shielding yourself from those people, from that condition that you don't want, from that thing, you know, there's resistance. And see, that's that other person in the mirror. That's that other thing. But when you turn it upright and you recognize that this is actually a reflection of you, then everything goes into your own control. You are now in control of the situation. Then you have to look in this mirror and say, well, if I haven't been seeing myself in that, why? Why have I believed through the eyes of fear that it has been the other person, or that, you know, I had no hand in welcoming in this situation or this toxic? See what it is. See why you welcome that in. It's not saying that that condition has to stay. In fact, you can change it quite quickly. And it's also not saying that you haven't already done a lot of clearing and shifting, because you can still have these remnants in your life when we still have little pieces of subconscious things that we're not facing. So it's time to face it. Stop shielding the other person. Stop shielding the situations. I don't want that. That's not for me. I don't want to have, you know, contact with those toxic people, or I don't want to have, that's not the type of thing that I want in my life, or, and then pushing it out of your life. It's more important that you look at why it's there now. Why is it still there? Because that's the reflection of you, and you trying to shield the other person is actually you resisting going into yourself. Now, it's not to say that you don't get to decide what's right or what's wrong for you. I think it's good that a lot of you are having the discernment to say, I don't want the toxic relationship in my life anymore. That means that you're lining up with your truth and with trust. But in order to come all the way into alignment and to remember who you are, which is the next card from the archangels, remember who you are. In order to do that, we have to shed the fear that's kept us in an illusion, that's kept us in some sort of a denial or in a resistant energy to going all the way into ourselves. So the bigger question and the biggest question is, why was or is that energy there in the first place? What piece of me is that reflecting? Now, I always get backlash when I talk about this, because some of you think that it's like a literal reflection. Like, for example, I'll give you a for example, just so you can understand what I'm talking about. So let's say that there's a person in your life who isn't, you know, supporting you, or doesn't make time for you, isn't creating space for you. And you're feeling slighted, and you're feeling, and you're feeling like not important to them. And so a lot of people, when they think about this being a mirror, they go, well, wait a minute, I don't do that to them. How is this a mirror? And I get that question a lot. And so the mirror goes a lot deeper than that. The mirror is also the opposite, okay? So basically, where you have to look at is, so in that situation where someone wasn't giving you the time of day or wasn't like making you a priority, or, and you have this belief of like, why aren't they prioritizing me? Why am I not important to them? That makes me feel not important. That is the piece of them that's reflecting back to you, the unhealed piece of you that feels not good enough. So at some level, you have felt not good enough, not supported, not seen, not heard, not loved. And that's stemming from your childhood wounding, most likely, right? And so until you've gone in there and brought all of that to light and healed through that, you won't begin to match with people who are more supportive, who do prioritize you. And that takes a lot of work. That takes work of knowing how to go to the root, bring those things into the light, and then begin a process of self-supporting yourself and learning how to support and love yourself more fully. That's how you come into alignment. So that mirror isn't necessarily that you have the same wound. It's a reflection for why you've matched up with that energy. Why did you invite this in? Right? It could be someone who's matched up with someone that they take on their burdens, right? And you could say, well, they don't give a lot and I overgive. So that's not a mirror, right? But it is a mirror, because at the same level, it's showing you, why do I overgive? Why do I take on the burdens of others in a capacity in which I self-sacrifice? When the other person's in the extreme opposite, being too selfish, and you're being too selfless. You see how there's always a duality, always a mirror here. So if anyone needs assistance with that, like I said, you can work with me in soul coaching. And but I love that with trust and this turning the shield yourself around to what it's really saying is embrace yourself. Not just that, but after we face whatever it is in the subconscious, whatever pain's in there that's caused the fear, we can then remember who we are. And that's the fun, amazing part of practicing alignment. This card is from Archangel Michael, and it says, you are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very loved. So remember that, okay? If you're telling yourself a story where it never works out for you, you're not loved, this isn't, you're like, why am I not supported? Then this is reminding you, you must look within yourself to heal that wound, to heal that, and then you'll be able to come into contact with your divinity, with that knowing that you are loved, you are love, you are capable of calling in the support. I feel like these messages are very timely, because those of you who want to create like new friendships and new relationships, you're going to have a huge opportunity to do that between now and June. And this energy that we're going into with the spring equinox and the full moon in Libra and the balancing and the relationships being highlighted, and we're looking at reciprocity, we're looking at give, take, we're looking at you versus them, how they give to you, how you give to them, what you're unhappy with, what you're happy with, and this really speaks to that for the feminine, okay? So this is an opportunity for you to ask yourself what it is you truly desire, to look at why it's not in your life, or why whatever has been showing up for you has been showing up with you and for you, and heal that if it's not what you want. And then ask for what you desire. And what I've been seeing and what's in my newsletter is about welcoming in new circles of friends, new friendships. That's something that we are now creating anew. That's going to be born now. And this is all across the collective. And I'm not sure if it's just the feminine. I feel like it's both energies, but definitely the feminine, as we're seeing through the cards, is having a desire to call in new friendships. So what's working? What's not working? Where am I giving too much? Where am I not? This could be definitely between the twins too, where the feminine is realizing like, well, I've been giving too much of myself. Now I need to really evaluate this. This isn't working for me. I'm not getting that back in return. You know, whether it's a twin flame or not, you still have to go to the root of, what do I deserve? And am I being treated in a way that respects and honors me? And am I lined up with that respect and honor within myself, right? And we can't make excuses because it's a twin connection. That's what the twin connection is all about. It's all about pulling you into alignment. So in that, you have to make some hard choices sometimes, because in order to come into alignment, you're going to have to step away from behaviors that are not healthy for you. So very interesting, but to also realize why it's vibrationally a match to begin with, right? So all of those things take into consideration. So for the masculine, we have in reverse a leg up. Okay, so we see the polar bears, and we have this little polar bear mounting the back of the mama or the papa. And this is a 34 card, which I think is interesting because the round and round was a 25, and that's both 7. 7 is a turning point because we have the next set of eclipses in July. And I feel like, again, this is like next 4 months. Some of the things that we're going to be working on are not just right now, spring equinox, full moon in Libra. This is like some of the stuff we're going to be working on for the next 4 months or so until we get into July, the next set of eclipses. So a leg up. So what does this mean? So over this is the card Imagine. And the leg up is coming from that he's actually coming, and I've been saying this for a while, the masculine is coming out of this perpetual state of things can't change, the 3D is doomed, this is my lot in life, this is how it has to be, I need to stay in this marriage, this job is a dead end, but I have no other choices. He's coming out of that. And so he has been dreaming about what he wants and imagining and feeling like the possibilities are more tangible and more within reach. And it's just those feelings, that little bit that he's been doing from deep from within, those voices that have been calling to him, nagging at him. And it's like a renewal of hope for the masculine. And that's giving him a leg up to anchor it into reality, regardless of what the current situation looks like. Because not all of the masculine have completed the changes. Most of them haven't even really started it. But they have within their minds, and they're not letting their mental mind get the best of them, which is so ironic because that's what the feminine is doing. So masculine are actually harnessing their feminine energy much better. They're trusting, they're starting to just dream and visualize, and it's giving them a leg up. It's giving them the ability to come into a new way of manifesting. And we have confirmation on this here. But before I say that, I want to say that, like, with the feminine, though, she's in an imbalanced masculine state, right? Where she's, like, relying too heavily on her logical thinking mind. And so it's interesting because I do feel like for the very first time in the collective, since I've been reading, since I've been on this journey, I feel like the masculine is pioneering the connection. In some of you, this is very sight unseen. You know, it's going to be very intangible. You might not have contact with your twin. You might not know what's going on in the other end. But I think from an energetic perspective, the message that I'm receiving is masculine is lighting the way right now. And feminine is more ready to, you know, to take the action. But she has so much still that she's working to work out of, like the frustration of it not showing up and the coming into alignment with who she truly is. And she's almost there. She's like one I always say one chiropractic adjustment out of it. Like, you know, when they crack your spine and you're one click away from just being like, ah, relief, you know? And she's so close, but yet she's kind of holding herself back. Whereas the masculine's doing some up-leveled work that he doesn't even realize that he's doing. And this is creating the ability, they're saying for the masculine, one, where he's finding the blessings in his current situation. That also is great, because what the feminine's doing is she's going, I don't like the way this is, I'm displeased. And the masculine's going, all right, it's not that bad, I can see it through, I've got a game plan, I can see the end of the tunnel, or I'm going to make a change, or, you know, I can see why this is happening. That's coming into, and if he's not feeling that now, he's going to be, for many of the masculine in the collective. So he's going to be feeling his truth come through and looking at the current situation and saying like, okay, I get it. I understand why this is all playing out the way it is now. He's letting go of resentment. He's letting go of this feeling of being trapped. He's letting go of this feeling of being stuck. He's letting go of all of that and saying, I'm okay with it right now. And that is the gateway to manifestation. It's just being okay with the way things are right now, right? It's when we're in a resistant energy to the present, which is kind of what some of the feminine are doing, that we block the manifestations. So this is huge. And so for the masculine, they're saying visualize success, and it's coming up in reverse because they're saying don't doubt, masculine, don't doubt. Like really, this is so good. It's going to all work out. It may feel like the timeline is far out, or it's going to take a while to get freer or get more in alignment with what you truly want in your life. But just being in a place of being present and imagining, dreaming, feeling like it's possible, that's the gateway to manifestation. So it's pretty huge. And then with that is the Archangel card, Prosperity. And this is Archangel Ariel, and she's saying your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. And I love this because this is what the masculine's doing. So we see the masculine coming into his manifestation power. And I bet if I had pulled from the tarot deck, we would have saw the Magician coming up for the masculine. Because that's very much what I feel. He's harnessing his divine feminine energy in a whole new way. And the reason why is because he has massively shifted recently, or will be, you know, as of lately, or coming soon, be shifting out of some major fear templates. So it's not that feminine, you haven't shed fear templates. You've been working on it. It's just that these are some of the final things to help you remember who you are, so that you can come back into alignment with how quick of a manifestor you are, how powerful of a manifestor you are, how magical life is, and you've got to kind of get out of your own way, okay? So combined energies, we have Chaos and Conflict, which is a 33 card. You guys can see that. And I think that there's a lot of different energies coming up this month that could create different aspects of duality in the collective. Things are feeling like they're moving forward, but then I feel like I've been blocked. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, that's coming up from the feminine. She's saying, I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing? Why isn't it all working? Why isn't it all moving ahead yet? She's saying. For the masculine, because this is coming up, find the blessings in the current situation. That means something, for some, like there's some karmic stuff that could be about to come to a head over the next like 3-4 months or so, that will for some of the masculine come to a head during the eclipses, okay, in July. So that looks like chaos and conflict. But he's already set his intention. It's already in his vibrational escrow of what he truly wants. He's maybe in the current situation going, I'm going to bide my time. And then it's going to come to a head. And that is going to look like some form of chaos and conflict. For the feminine, I feel like this is inner turmoil more. Whereas for the masculine, up ahead, this is going to be outer turmoil. But it's good. It's good. It's actually good, because for the masculine, it's pushing him ahead. And for the feminine, she's going to get uncomfortable enough, displeased enough to want to kind of break free of this. So crowning over this, we have the Observer in reverse. So it's saying when things are chaotic, when things are uncertain, just don't, if you don't know what to do, don't do anything. Just watch, just observe, just let things be shown to you. Let the intuitive guidance come to you so that you're taking inspired action rather than taking action from an uninformed place or from too much of in your analytical, fear-based mind. So they're saying observe, like if there's some havoc happening around you. Again, I get masculine with their karmics are having conflict. And that's going to create, maybe the feminine, the beloved feminine is watching that, and they're saying just observe, just watch it, just let it play out. Some things could come up this month that feel out of your control. And this is about how you manage your power. Even when things feel out of your control, you can always step back, take a breath, watch. And underneath we have To Be Fair, which is also coming up in reverse. And we see the scales of balance, which I feel like is the Libra energy. And we have the 38, which is 11. And this is like, how are we, they're saying, how are we disjointed? How are we disjointed? Why are they saying that? They're saying that because okay, I get it. So on one scale, she has a fortune cookie, and on another, an egg. So what it feels like is the fortune cookie feels like something that we're just receiving, like something that feels like it's giving to us, or it just shows up in our life. And on the other scale, there's an egg, which is something that we birth, that we have to nurture, and that it's our creative projects, it's our babies, it's our, it's the things that we've really had to like work for. And I think there's been, for the feminine, this sense of like, I've worked so hard, why isn't it showing up? And for the masculine, he's actually struggling less with this at this time, and is going to see some good manifestations coming, just like the fortune cookie appears and it's just like, boom. It shows up because he's put it in vibrational escrow and hasn't stayed in the fear template to deny it. There's some aspect of him that's coming out of those fear templates. So again, this is about everything is fair, because the truth is that everything is still coming from you. It's just, is it coming from a place of the absence of fear, or is it coming from a place of the presence of fear? Because when we have fear in there, it creates resistance, and it's going to create the struggle. It's going to create that feeling of, oh, I worked so hard, you know, I worked so hard. Here's this egg. I laid this egg. You know, why isn't it hatching? I can't see anything. Oh, but then there's this thing that just shows up out of nowhere. How did that happen? Oh, because I didn't block it. I didn't block it. And that's how luck and serendipity and how the stars align and how the universe just can rise up to meet us. So again, we're balancing our masculine and feminine energies. We're balancing fear and love. And they're, you know, as soon as we let the love take over and the fear dissolve, then we can have a fair amount of focusing and birthing, and then the magic just showing up for us, right? It's not saying that everything's just going to come easy, and you can't expect that. I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying you can't rest on your laurels. And today I was looking at, I was finding that image for my post on social media and for the spring equinox special, and I was almost going to start this video with this flower in my hair, right? And I was looking at those flower crowns. I chose an image of a girl with a flower crown for the spring, and it was kind of like Ostara, who is the pagan goddess of spring. And I was Googling them, and it said those are called laurel wreaths. And I was like, that's weird. I keep saying that. We can't rest on our laurels. So that is a message. We cannot just expect it to show up when we have all this resistance in the way, or just like feel like it's owed to us, or there's a sense of entitlement. But then again, we can't also believe that it has to come from lots of effort and work. So it's more a dance of concerted focus, excitement, focus, energy, positivity, energy that you're pouring into something, and then not resisting it. It's not the entitlement. It's not the expectation. It's the, I'm in alignment with this. This feels good. I'm going to keep nurturing it. I believe in it. I'm not going to block it. I'm not going to put doubt and fear in the way. And then it's going to show up. And that's a different way of co-creating than going into our logical minds to try to figure it out, or to replay and rehash and all of that. So bottom of these decks, the bottom of the wisdom of the Oracle deck is the winds of change, or a change in the wind. I'm sorry I said it like that. Change in the wind. And I did say in my monthly forecast that March was going to come in like a lion and go out like a lamb. And I do feel like this is a 12 card. I don't feel like it's 12 months. I feel like it's showing us 12 weeks. And 12 weeks is about the next, 3 months or so. And I think over the next, starting with the outset of March, as the winds come in, that we're going to see a change in direction. Things are going to start to change. That means the landscape is going to start to change. We're going to see twin flame unions. We're going to see major things shifting in people's lives, big things. We're going to see people start living out their dreams. We're going to see people get to the next level of success. We're going to see people realize their dreams, buy that home, write that book, do that thing that they've been dying to do, set out on that venture and get it backed, and what else? And get to the next level in their lives and have that baby, and create a marriage union, and like lots of like things around career and home and family are going to be popping for us in the second half of 2019. So, and they're all around union. It's all around uniting with your true mission. It's all around like home and family and partnership and friendship and collaboration, and just, it's positive. It's very positive. I'm not saying that some of the changes that are happening aren't going to be hard, because when there's such big shifts, they're big. And I think for the masculine, he's got more of that coming down the pipeline for those still that need to make karmic breaks or karmic changes. Or some of that's facing himself at a deeper level. But for the feminine, like, you're almost there. You just got to get out of your own way. And then you're going to be able to anchor in a lot of the career-based stuff, the mission-based stuff, as well as the divine partnerships, the marriage, if you want it. There was this message around, it's okay to want, I got this message several days ago, and I wanted to deliver it to you. It's okay to believe in a fairy tale. It's okay to esteem marriage. It's okay to, it's okay to do that. And I know society shuns it. But the thing about that is it's not about being saved, however, and it's not about codependency. When we esteem those things because it's two equals coming together for a partnership, because the happy life that we desire is within reach. That's different than needing it, needing to be rescued, or reaching out because of for codependent reasons. And that's where society shuns it. And I think that some of you walk around disowning it, even though you really do esteem it. So ask yourself, like, how do I esteem like a happy life and a happy ending? Am I blocking it in some way? How do I esteem commitment and marriage? Do I block it in some way if that's what I truly want? You know, everyone's definition of that is going to be different, and that's okay. But be truthful about that within yourself, because I feel like those things are highlighted. We're going to see marriage proposals. We're going to see happy home, happy life, happy family, happiness play out in the second half of the year, or the opportunity for it. But if you're blocking yourself because there's some untruth in there that you haven't admitted to yourself because you're disowning it at some level, you can't claim it. You can't bring it into manifestation. So it's important that you get real with yourself about that, right? So bottom of the angel therapy deck is singing and dancing, which is a reminder to celebrate ourselves. You know, this could be a way for the feminine to get out of her logical mind, you know, raise the vibration. And, you know, for the masculine, I feel like this is some sort of celebrating that he's going to do up ahead here in the future, with, yes, I made it to the other side and it really worked out and this is great. Everything's happier. Feminine, you need to do more of this though to get in that happy state. And for some of you, that could be a literal message, by the way, because I've been getting that in my private readings. 2 or 3 of you recently, I've been like, you got to go take a dance class, or there's something calling you with movement. And I've been saying that physical movement in our lives is going to create a lot of these manifestations now. I wrote that into my March forecast. I don't know if you guys remember reading that, but we've got to get moving. We've got to get moving. It's almost like doing a rain dance. It's telling the universe, like, we're ready for things to move and shift, and it's going to start moving the energy. Okay, so no stagnant energy. It's all about raising the vibration. The bottom of the angel therapy deck is, Ascended Masters. No. The Archangel's deck is brilliant idea. And that's Archangel Uriel. And he's saying, yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. And I think he's talking about inspired action, not doubt, not fear. Like, yes, it's the divine inspiration that's coming through that you can take action towards. Don't tell yourself an old story that it's not possible. Don't overthink it, right? This is when we can take inspired action without having to go through those fear-based steps. But if you are, understand why you're in a state of fear. And then we have see the other person's point of view. And I feel like this is very relevant for the relationship energy that's highlighted during the Libra full moon, because we may really want to blame the other people in our lives for the things that we really need to step into our own power with and take control of. So seeing the other person's point of view is important. I feel like for the twins too, it might be giving one another space and time to let things play out a little bit more, because we are in a state of really the feminine doing major work on herself, major purging, major shifts, you know, tweaking some of the last things, going through some final strands of purging and alignment and all of that. And then, you know, with the masculine, it's like the masculine's just coming into this feeling of the fear lifting and possibility being able, you know, to be even on the radar, like a possible new outcome or change, or, oh, wait, I have the key to my happiness, or I can create a different possibility. He's just realizing that now. So like, when we have this opportunity for so many manifestations to take place around all of these things, it's like, okay, look at everything that's happening. There's just this new epiphanies coming in. It's this recent purging. It's this recent changes. It's all of this stuff that's been taking place. Like, you've got to give it time to let it all like sink in and play out and unfold, and allow these manifestations to come into life and not expect it like right now, like right at this moment. Why isn't he or she doing this? Or why am I still not doing, like, still stuck here in this? And they're saying like, just focus on you. Just focus on clearing your energy. Just focus on, you know, owning your peace in it. And that will help you lend to, whether that's your twin flame or anyone else you've been like sort of blaming or wanting something from that they're not giving to you. It'll enable you to see their point of view and say, you know what? They're going through some shifts too. They're dealing with some stuff too. And I need to just give them space and understand that we may not be going through the same things and it may not look the same way, but this really does feel like allowing the other person to go through their process. And if you decide it's not for me at the moment, like I can't stay engaged with this energy, that's okay. Because then you're not trying to change the other person. You're just saying, hey, this isn't alignment for me right now, right? So see the other person's point of view. Know that both the masculine and feminine are doing a lot of work. And some who are less conscious on the planet are struggling right now because they're having people leave their lives. They're having reality kind of slap them. And they're going to wake up a little bit more too because of the shifting circumstances and situations. I feel like some people who maybe didn't sign up to be all in on this, you know, consciousness path as a light worker, they are still coming into a new level of consciousness. And some of the changes that we're making, saying, hey, I can't do this relationship with you anymore, or this is toxic for me, that is actually going to leave them in a position to do more work on themselves. And the whole planet's up leveling. In my newsletter, I also talk about a revolutionary energy, and like the change that's on your personal front is revolutionary. It really is. You're creating a revolution by shedding fear templates. And you are uplifting humanity in a huge way. So don't think that your part is small in all of this. Every little bit that you do on yourself is huge. And on the world stage, we're going to see some revolutionary things take place, where we see some major change. And there will be some of this conflict energy on the world stage as well over the next several months. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. I feel like that's complete now. Look out for my email with the extended forecast. Don't forget to book your readings. Spring Equinox, special rate, 45-minute readings all week long. You can check it out, spiritualmaterialgirl.com. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Mwah.